Salutations, episode 77, and today we've got a new challenge build for you guys. Now, today we're going to be utilizing the Retcher shotgun, and this thing gets hated on by so many people, and honestly, I had fun with it. I'm not saying it's good, but I had fun with it. Granted, that is typically my thing, and why I started this series in Borderlands 3 is because I usually like the really bad weapons. But there were a lot of people who were saying that this is just like objectively bad or and stuff like that, and I'm just like, this is my fastest time so far clearing Washburn Refinery. If you take a look at the timestamp, freaking 14 plus minutes. Like, most of these are roughly 19 to 20 minute mark, and I have another one that's coming out potentially next week, covering a dot-based weapon that took me 30 minutes to do the run, although that was probably my most fun, well, second most fun run that I've done so far. I'm not going to exactly spoil it just yet, but there are some people who know what one that is. Good lord. Yeah, this run was a lot of fun. The Retcher here is a TDOR shotgun that is corrosive locked, so Washburn Refinery it works really well in because most of the enemies are armored and robots, so they take the extra matching element damage since it's a corrosive weapon. And whenever I get elemental lock weapons, I'm gonna try and showcase them in the best light that I can, as that's kind of the point of the showcase part of this. But I very much enjoyed playing with this setup. There were a lot of very close calls, but that was mostly because I was playing extremely risky through a lot of this and could care less as to what was going on. This run's probably one of my favorites. Now, I did use the grog nozzle, mostly because I forgot to go grab a ruby, so, whatever. And honestly, the drunk effect didn't really do anything bad to the weapon. If anything, there were some times where it helped a little bit. There were some times where it didn't, and that's fine too. It was one of those, like, if you land every projectile, it definitely was more effective than just using the weapon normally. But if you didn't land every projectile, then it was very lackluster in that regard. So I chose to run a hunter instead of the sniper comm that I usually do for a lot of these runs, for a couple reasons. One, I'm getting that cooldown, which is the big thing. I'm getting that crazy cooldown, and I'm getting a touch of reload speed. Maybe I have heard or seen that the reload speed is fake on some of Zero's class mods. I don't remember if this one is one of them or not. But if it is, then sadness. But honestly, this little setup was a lot of fun to set up. It was super fun. This is my traditional Gunslinger Zer0 that I've been running for a lot of my non-sniper builds, and I've been having so much fun with it. Kunai potentially getting that slag, and having magic missile on instead of chain lightning for slagging, it does change the playstyle a little bit more than I'm used to. So I did make a couple mistakes when it came to what should I throw first? Should I throw my grenade or should I throw my kunai? And realistically, I should be throwing my grenade before my kunai every single time, since I'm running magic missile. But I didn't really think about it. I'm that ingrained to be using chain lightning right now, so it is definitely going to be a little learning curve when trying to play with it with a magic missile. But this one was a lot of fun. I understand why people hate on it. The weapon's projectiles don't like to crit. It's kind of difficult to aim sometimes. It's shooting with the 3 projectiles that are all big orbs that all explode. It's like you may hit something for the splash damage amount, but you're probably not going to hit them with the initial impact. And if you do hit them for the impact damage on 1 or 2 projectiles, is not all that. It's really not all that. The method that you can utilize is like going up to them and getting close enough for all of those projectiles to really hit, or having some sort of way to mitigate that spread. Heck, you could even ADS for some of the scopes and it would reduce the spread. There's a lot of things that that are really good about that you can do to mitigate these issues. Now, I did also notice that with this weapon, I tend to like spam fire a lot, and I was a lot more reckless with my ammo usage, which is probably why went a lot faster than a lot of my other weapons. When I'm using snipers, I'm very reserved and tactical and slowing down a lot of the time. I'm constantly switching sniper, and I spend more time focusing on which sniper do I need to shoot next or hold next for the next objective, instead of just spray and pray, which is one of the things I love doing in Borderlands 3, is just holding down that one weapon that I'm used to using and just spamming. Now, this again, a lot of people don't really like this weapon, and that's why I cover it. That's why I'm covering it. There's a lot of doubt that this can perform well, and I had a lot of fun. And this is without a B shield. I mean, a B shield wouldn't exactly be very good with this either, seeing as it does splash, so you're getting the splash bonus, but it's a split projectile weapon, so the B amp is going to split between each projectile, meaning you're realistically only getting one B shield shot per anyways. It's not all that good. But if you can get the dot to apply, the dot is pretty good. The dot is pretty good. It does help quite a bit when it comes to getting healing. So if you dot them and then switch to your grog nozzle or your ruby or your Cheramay, you get that healing, and that's really nice. The only real problem that I have with this shotgun is the fact that it is corrosive only, which is the main thing that a lot of people talk about. If you could find this on multiple elements, then that's cool. But honestly, I don't really view that as a bad thing. There are a lot of people who do, but I don't really view it as a bad thing. I find it as a more... It requires you to be more diverse with your weapon set. Having different weapons that can match elements, I think, is a good thing. For example, if you could just element match with the Herald, you would probably just do that. Instead of using whatever you get, you would probably just element match and just use the Herald and never need to switch to anything else. And there wouldn't be a reason to use other weapons, and there are reasons to use other weapons. There are weapons that are really good for specific things, and in some cases, they're just weapons that are fun to use. That's a big thing that I see a lot of is, well, this gun is bad because there's no reason to use it. Okay, I mean, that you could say that about most guns or most items in all of the Borderlands games. Why is there a reason to use a Hellfire in BL1 if you have access to a freaking... I forget what the thing is, a double anarchy? I don't play Borderlands 1 very much right now. And honestly, when I did play Borderlands 1, I didn't know very much about the guns. So Chimera's series is really helping me out with that. I am learning a lot whenever he covers like weapon parts and stuff. What are some other things I want to talk about with this build here? I probably should have... Do I have a melee attachment on this? No, I don't. I should probably get a Moxie weapon that has a melee attachment. This way, I can just heal off of kunai. The magic missile strategies here are a lot different than what I'm used to. You can delay throw and then start shooting, get shot at, and then start healing. Sort of like a transfusion. Because of the delay, it works more similar to a transfusion, which is another reason as to why I chose to utilize it for this run, and I'm probably going to be using it a lot more often, is because I do want to switch into utilizing that more transfusion-style gameplay. It's just difficult for me because I don't have a non-unique transfusion on most of my characters right now, and I need to go get one. And I don't feel like farming for it right now. Oh, he did not get slagged there. That was sadness. That was sadness to watch. Me wasting ammo. So I'm just running stuff, and I don't know the non-unique game codes, and honestly, I don't want to know. There are a lot of them where it's just like, sure, I could find it and I could use it, but I'd rather go find the non-uniques. When it comes to the unique weapons, I know how to farm them for a lot of them, and I don't feel like it for a lot of the times right now. I'm mostly just getting my fill of playing the OP10 difficulty and adjusting to my surroundings here. Oh, this is another issue I found with this weapon. It doesn't get grenade splash, to my knowledge. If it does, that would be awesome. I'm gonna go check that real quick after I'm done recording this voiceover. If it doesn't, then this is gonna be here. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Okay, we are getting over to Hurley. This run, again, super fast. A lot faster than a lot of my other runs, a lot of sniper stuff for the past bit, and the Unforgiven was more crit-based, and a lot of these were very slow. Not because the weapons were bad. I definitely don't think it was because of the weapons. It's more so just the time to kill with those was mostly because I took a lot of time to prep and to get set up for shots, and they were very much more prep-intensive weapons. While the Retcher here, I could walk up after slagging and potentially death marking. I could just spam shots into them and not worry about it. All of my shots are gonna be dealing some sort of damage, and I'm getting all that I want out of the shotgun. It's working just as well as if I spent a whole bunch of time prepping, realistically. Alright, so Hurley, I did do a little cheese. Mostly because I didn't feel like sitting through the shield with the Retcher. So I did pull out a Shock Omen to just strip the shield, which is the way that which is the way I would see people playing with this item. And this is why I was saying that I definitely think weapons that are element locked, they're cool to be element locked, and that's fine. As long as there are other things that you can utilize that fit with the majority of the setup that you are currently running, or fit with the theme, I feel like that's perfectly acceptable. And that's probably be the way that I take these from now on, is whenever I'm choosing a weapon to showcase with the challenge builds, I'm mostly going to be focusing on utilizing them in their use case, and not utilizing them just them and nothing else. That I feel like that's not exactly the best way to portray a weapon. Showcasing them where they're utilized and showcasing that they have a use is probably the best way of doing things, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. I've been saying that a lot recently, just in my opinion. Okay. Well, that's a challenge run complete here, a challenge build complete, not a challenge run, that's a challenge build. I definitely do want to do more in this style, just utilizing the weapon for its use case in the area, and not only exclusively using that weapon. I feel like it's a better way for Borderlands 2, especially with the element locked guns. Because in Borderlands 3, you have access to anointments that can add elements to a weapon and mitigate or fix that issue, but in Borderlands 2 you don't. You don't get access to that kind of stuff. So there are definitely some things to take advantage of there. But that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you all for stopping by. Stereo77 signing off.